it punishes and pushes teams who lose a little bit more, because as of now, HOSHI just one game away from advancing further in Group B. And if they win 2 series, they immediately qualify. If they drop a game, in this case, if YRG drops this game, they are going to be playing an additional 5 or maybe 6 games just to qualify if they make it through to the last chance qualifier with no lives at all.
Yep, let's see. As now, as Red Giants going to be on the red side with RRQ HOSHI on the blue, the bans are already in, and interestingly enough, they get rid of the Roger as well as the Faramis. They also banned out the Harith as well as the chip expected of red side.
Oof. Now, I wonder what Coach Arcadia is going to be doing here. It's game 1, targeting Skylar's heroes. Sure, Moskov got let through. Okay, you know what? Let's not take the risk of playing the Harith here. We gave Harith to his innocent, didn't really work out. Now, Moskov, do they prioritize this? I feel like RQ, they might first pick it and just like give the Fredrin once again, considering how well Skylar has been playing in game 1.
I mean, it's either the Moskov or the Fredrin at this point. It felt like Sakai's unfortunately didn't have as much space to play with because their side laners weren't winning as hard as they usually do in the regular leagues. So once again, it's just a wake-up call. The Internationals is a completely separate beast here. With 20 seconds left on the clock, I think that Red Giants might even consider just banning out the Moskov or even the Fredrin at this point.
Ooh, this is a tough one here. Roger, obviously, respect ban coming from RRQ HOSHI. They know he's really good over here. Yeah, they take out the Moskov. Fredrin in the hands of RRQ HOSHI. Or do they take the Faramis as a priority pick and force Stormy to go for Valentina, which I think it's something that Red Giants... Oh, sorry. No, Faramis is gone. My bad.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, the theory crafting is good and the idea is there, but RRQ HOSHI just one step ahead because now Natan is wide open. It was either Natan or Claude for the side of RRQ, but obviously you go for the better scaler.
Okay. Safe pick. Definitely taking the Fredrin here, but do they want to pick the Valentina for Stormy, or do they still want to keep his options open, right? Considering that he's pretty much the only mid laner in MPLMY that brought in the Aurora and somehow still won the game.
But that's on condition, right? It's on condition that your opponents are very team fight heavy and they want to kind of like dive you really, really hard, which Aurora is great at doing because she's hard to punish in the mid lane with her annoying passive. Speaking of which, 13 more seconds until we see the picks come through for YRG side. We're expecting the Fredrin, but they could go a completely different direction here. They can give the Fredrin over technically if they want to, but that's assuming, yeah, there we go, a Trinity build gold laner and also a Valentina.
Okay, they've got a lot of AoE damage, but again, Winds of Nature not going to be very, very helpful for the Claude as the Natan is going to break through all of that damage here, so he needs to be a little bit careful on his positioning. We know that once the entropy is up, this Claude is going to get completely destroyed. Meanwhile, Fredrin up for grabs. Nope, going to be ignored once again. They get the Angela as well as the Baxia for RRQ HOSHI.
Now, this is interesting, right? Because depending on the region, the priority of tank junglers differentiate, considerably differentiate, right? Because here, we would have expected the Fredrin to be locked in for the side of RRQ HOSHI, but the fact that they are actually deciding to stick with this Baxia just goes to show what they find important here is presence. RRQ, they have to play around Skylar on this Natan. He needs enough time to build 3 items inclusive, and once he's done with the Holy Crystal, that's when we expect him to get really serious about these fights.
Oh, we see Sky's Nolan this game for Red Giants. I like this. But that's the thing, right? Like I can see where you're getting at on the Baxia pickup, right? Like usually that's what MY region we prioritizing the Barats for in terms of jungle presence. But think about this. Barats is one of the strongest early game junglers, but who can match him? To be honest, I think Baxia is one of those heroes that can actually outmatch Barats in terms of sustainability and overall DPS in teamfights. So I guess in terms of safety net-wise here, you know, at least with the Baxia, all you got to worry about is just like, oh, if somebody dies me, just pop someone button. Whereas a Barats, you have to worry about stacks consistently every single time.
Yes, that is true, but Barats has significantly taken a hit after the patch, right? Those first 2 minutes are like so valuable to Barats to actually create that, generate that lead, but now Nolan is going to be the more leaned into jungler these days, mainly because if your jungler is capable of playing an assassin at a very high level, Baxia's clear speed comparatively to Nolan is quicker. So now, based on what we're seeing from the previous drafts, a lot of these picks have been banned out. Grok even being taken out for the side of RRQ HOSHI because they understand they won't have, with this Angela, they're not going to have as much coverage as they did before. It's all about momentum. It's all about setting the tone and pace.
I'm not going to lie, you know, whoever is doing the previous draft game with the repick and ban thing is so cool because like this overlay
hey man, you
just makes our life easier and for the viewers to actually understand what we're talking about. Thank you guys so much.
Shout out to the Zipper, man. Gotta give him credit where credit is due. Last bans coming out from both sides. We'll see that right now, Red Giants holding on to the priority. They got rid of the CC, which I think is a very good idea, but they also have to get rid of the Thalmos. Yeah. These two cover so many heroes that are just a dominant force without having strong push.
I think there's two things they need to worry about coming from Red Giants. One, how do they deal with a ton? Two, how do they do with the sustains coming from this Angela, right? Like getting early durances here means it's okay. They can rush it up on the Valentina, but the problem is what synergizes well with the Heartsguard. Like time and time again here, MPAYD, they love playing Angela CC just because they can outrun people going for single pickoffs. Baxia, very, very good as well. But again, what else? They need something to push through this, and Red Giants, they've got the Edith, they've got enough damage. I don't think the Heartsguard's gonna be able to sustain this, but again, they have to be very decisive this game.
I really like this pick. I really like the Edith fourth pick coming out to the side of Red Giants on the red side, because now the question is, like, I don't even know whether this Edith is actually going to be in the EXP lane, which is something that RRQ have to consider. Red side gets last pick, but they have to finish their composition, so I guess they can go for something super safe in the EXP sector. They could go for Benedetta just to have a Swiss Army knife, something that can actually threaten the backline, but at the same time, it's like you're getting pressure, but how much can you get off of it?
I think this comes down to what Red Giants wants to play, right? Like, based on their previous draft here, Xbox was actually banned, which is something that Cram does, I would say, bring up from time to time from Red Giants. But they, again, I think the biggest threat here was none other than the Tigreal, so having the Tigreal means that right now, RQ HOSHI, they have a clear idea on how to shut down Cram. And if we talk about lacking in terms of magical damage, no, they do have a lot of magical damage, and that's from Natan, Baxia, as well as Angela. So the only thing they're lacking here is probably physical damage, which is, I think, Red Giants may be okay with just getting the Xbox here.
I think they can go even further than this, right? I think that Red Giants have plenty of EXP lane options, unless there's a support option that's like a little bit better than this Edith as of right now. And that would have been the Arlet, but unfortunately RRQ have decided to take it and put it into the EXP.
Maybe?
Single target pickoff, maybe, but I think, yeah, Xborg is going to be the safest pick to peel for the team that isn't exactly the tankiest and very damage-oriented, right? So RRQ, here's the big issue for them, right? The longer they play this Lord Dance against Red Giants, they're slowly going to get whittled away by the Xborg, maybe even by the Edith if they commit an all-in. But similarly to the last game, if they isolate their targets, the EXP laners, anybody who rotates slow, that's when Red Giants could potentially find a pick, and the same game plan can be applied to RRQ HOSHI.
In terms of overall composition, I really like Red Giants' composition, but based on the wombo combo that RRQ HOSHI has, oh, it makes it a little bit hard for me to say like, oh, yep, guarantee win, because this is all comes down to execution here. The ideas from RRQ HOSHI have is that they want to shut down Cramps in another way here, and Cramps realizes that getting the export is a safety net is very smart, but I don't know, it feels very difficult here based on this draft, and it feels like a very, very 50-50 draft here.
It's pretty straightforward. I think that RRQ have a much easier game plan to execute, Skylar being the main win condition for the side of RRQ HOSHI. Red Giants very much dependent on that mid to early actually going really well for them, right? It's not through their side lane, they're playing through their mid trio, and that's the difference.
Oh boy, let's get the dice rolling here. It is going to be game 2, RRQ HOSHI versus Red Giants, game number 2. And now it's up to Red Giants whether or not can they bounce back and take a W against RRQ. We shall find out, because now Versik on his box out once more.
Yeah, but I think in the early game, things are going to be like relatively slow. Red Giants, they like to scout for information early on, and based off of how the side lanes are going to go, I think at this point in time, when we look at the emblems, tank emblems on that Xborg to make sure that he basically doesn't lose these trades against common emblem Arlet, I think it's totally fine. Red Giants will play towards Turtle side.
Yeah, speaking of Turtle right now, because it seems like YRG, they're playing a little bit more pressure down mid lane this time compared to before. But, you know, game 1, they focus on XP all the way through to try and get a kill, and as well as making sure that both their mages get their level 4s. But this time, Yumes, it's just like, I don't care. Like, you know what? Just do your own thing.
I mean, that's why they're playing around their mid trio, right? This coverage is to try and get advantages in the EXP sector because there's no real advantage going down to the bottom side other than to break like Skylar's Purify, which Innocent doesn't really care about in the first place as Claude.
Well, Sky's here, looking for the invades. He is level 4 as contrast to First is also level 4. He's able to get a trade on bottom side here. But Red Giants, they definitely need those 4s up on Stormy before the fight begins. In this case, Angela, Rinse.
The interception. This is so funny. A way to kind of break up the top duo, to slow down their level 4. More importantly, this gives Skies plenty of room and space to actually start pulling this turtle to their side.
Yep, now Vin very close to the tree here. Stormy looking to try and steal the implosion here, but Vin says, you know what, you're not getting it. I'm not giving it to you for free.
Hold on, hold on. Yeah, we see that first six stole away the purple buff and left up a small camp in the purple buff camp to make sure it doesn't spawn on time. Skies has to deal with it, and unfortunately, if he goes to the enemy purple buff, it's already too late. First six, one step ahead.
Okay. Adaptations here coming from our HOSHI. I think it's something that actually MPOID does a lot as well. We saw it in Eagles Holy's game, and now Blazing Duet being expended on Skylar, Heartsguard being hovered through, doesn't commit it from our HOSHI. So Red Giants, they definitely need to figure out to break the tempo right now as HOSHI. Now looking for the punish here. Yumes is gonna get stunned up as well. First hit, here comes double implosion, forces a purify, but Yumes, he might die to this here. First blood in the hands of Crams, but Versik is able to find one of his own.
He just refused to use that ult. He did not want to do it. He knew he was gonna go down, but he still used the flicker at that point. Just like I'd rather lose the ult than the flicker. But regardless, that one kill allows top tier 1 to fall. Can he outplay this?
Oh no,
Innocent.
Oh no. Oh,
he's so close!
What? Blazing Duet forward here, trying to go for the kill of Skylar, but nope, Skylar gets the kill instead. The heals from this Angela, a little bit too much to handle. Meanwhile, Red Giants loses another one.
Great entropy coming in from Skylar. He threw the entropy backwards, made sure that he started walking up, and if Innocent tries to trade back, he takes it. He's fine.
Okay, Stormy, okay.
He's fine. He's fine. Remember, those the shadow strikes, unfortunately, well, in this case, always hits the closest target. And Riz, he's standing right in front to absorb as many projectiles as possible.
Oh. Whew, what a game. What a start coming from both sides here. But now, guys, he's going to get his purple buff here. He's going to be able to make it up before the first turtle fight. But Vin does give a little bit of information for HOSHI. So, as of yet, they are going to try and set up this fight here. But overall, both sides got even levels for now.
Very even levels. And I think that Innocent is doing a phenomenal job. Wait, in the meantime, this is what I was talking about. The longer this drags out.
Okay, first take now. Implosion comes in from Stormy, catches on tree. No commitment so far. Hot Guy comes in. They need to get out. Stormy gets pinned away here. Can he get out? Yes, he can. Yume saves the day. They fight first take. That's going to be the jungler. And now Innocent with the Blazing Duet and the backlines. They find Dawn. Rinse barely making it out alive. But guess what? Vin getting completely chained down by Yumes here with all the combos. Yumes, how many stuns do you have? Because he's just completely shutting Vin down. What is this build on this Edom? And now Skies goes behind tier 1, finds Riz, and that's going to be Red Giants completely shutting down HOSHI.
A great play coming in from YRG side. A really great play. Staggering their opponents, and then after that, slowly picking them off one by one. Let's look at the instant replay, because again, the longer this fight goes, the worse it is for HOSHI. And if they can't find that final slash onto some key targets, for an example, Cram, if he didn't have Faraga armor, Innocent, maybe even Sakai's and Stormy, it would have been way more worth their time.
Yeah, but bottom lane though, they do find a pick on Innocent though. And now Yume's gonna be in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't even get the shatter. And Dawn forced to flicker out. YRG, you know, they may have had the lead. They lose 2, but the consolation trade here is gonna be Skies taking a middle turret for YRG.
Now this is what I'm more used to seeing YRG do, right? Just consistent trades all across the board. If we have mobility, we can definitely steal a turret. And my god, how?
Huge for Stormy, securing the purple buff. And guess what? Skies actually stole the purple buff from HOSHI. So this time, they will win in the overall objectives, even though they've lost the number game.
Yeah, Sky's 2 levels ahead. This is really great here. Unfortunately for First Six, he didn't actually have his retribution when that steal was occurring. So nicely played by Stormy for the time being.
Oof, close match indeed here now. Let's take a look at the item here. Skylar finally got his star inside here. He does have a little bit more damage. Entropy comes in. Cram immediately melts his Firaga armor. But again, RQ, do they want to commit to this? YRG still thinking to apply kill pressure, try and secure the turtle. Nice sidestep for Furzik.
Great, honestly, great coverage coming in from Yums, right? Because Cram, he needs to farm some energy to get his Firaga armor back before this turtle dance actually occurs. And that's why Yums is just hovering nearby in case Furzik tries to go for a cheeky play.
Speaking of cheeky play, RQ grouped up as 5. Skylar in the Lord P. He's going to try and mow down Firaga armor here. Crams, no choice but to concede the turtle, as Yudu Red Giants cannot take this fight when Skies is nowhere to be found.
They're totally okay with this, but Cram needs to call for help right now before Natam pushes in that way, because Cram can lose his Firaga armor.
Oh no, Stormy going for the implosion as well. They're trying to burst down Skylar. Entropy gets him out to save. He doesn't even use the Purify. Yums looking for the stun. He gets the chain.
He will land it.
Comes in as well. Insanity comes in. Skylar gets melt. Counter implosion by Vin. Won't force the flicker. They will lose Crabs, but guess what? The collapse comes in. Yums looking for the play. Skies finds one of his own. 2v1. But guess what? Innocent is here. He does have the blazing duet. He's building stacks, taking tier 1s here. He wants to kill on first thing. Can he get out? He's got the Toys Massage, but nope, it doesn't matter. He doesn't even pop it. As Yudu Red Giants were able to find a crack in RQ HOSHI, and they picked them all apart.
Now we get to see, right? RQ HOSHI lack the tools necessary for a disengage against Yudu Red Giants, and that's why Yudu Red Giants are taking these super prolonged fights on purpose to make sure, stagger the rotations, come up at separate timings, just to make sure, hey, no hard guard, you overextending, you're dead every single time.
Oh boy, like look at this scuffed fight, right? Like they needed a beautiful, they needed a setup, right? Like Arlen's just so far away from that fight, and ever since, like, even though they have a very, very good implosion combo here, they need to set up with Dawn, and unfortunate to say, Dawn is just too busy doing housekeeping on the top side. So Yudu Red Giants finds a very, very nice opportunity with this fight.
I mean, they do need Dawn, but they also need Skylar not to get hit by CC anymore, right? Because he already used his Purify. The fact that that Yums is able to go back in and Earth Shatter, the question comes down to Skylar is like, why go back in? You could have waited a little bit more. I understand the footsies involved, but was it worth it? And in his mind, he's probably thinking, I mean, they committed the hard guard. I gotta make it worth their time.
True. In this case, Furzik now does have his purple buff. Unfortunately for Yudu Red Giants, they are already in position to try and mow down the Lord. He's level 13 as to Furzik level 11. So that's going to be a level advantage on those Retribution.
Oh, great block.
Cram.
Block. Furzik can't get into the pit.
Oh, Dawn with the final slashes. Guys secures the Lord. Now they're going to be committing as well. Insanity comes in. Once you get in, you ain't coming out. Dawn is dead.
Whoa!
Stormy looking for the counter play as well to try and catch Skylar, but Skylar is going to be fine. Yudu Red Giants just half a second late, but they will trade 1 for 1. Stormy
getting spun around like a top, and unfortunately ends up dying in that situation in trade for Dawn. But Yudu Red Giants, look at Sakai. He's level 14 right now. The first is in level 11.
Oh, it's huge, but for now, they need a way to shut down Skylar, because right now Yules is going to look for the play here. He gets pulled back. Implosion comes in. Innocent is there to provide a little bit of a cover fire, but you know what? It's 4 guys. You're on your own, Yumes. You're dead.
Can't do much. So guys, he's going to try to steal away a buff in the meantime. Just maintain this level lead. Unfortunately, Yudu Red Giants have to pay with blood every single time RQ HOSHI requests for their tax income. It's just like, hey, have you paid your taxes just yet? You paid it for coming into our jungle? Thank you very much. We'll take one back.
Well, for now, with the Lord pushing in, they have to do this without you. Skylar popping Entropy here. Innocent, he's thinking about going for the dives. Nope, Stormy goes for the damage here. They're trying to bait out the Hard God. They do bait it out, and guess what? Stormy gets the stolen Entropy, but guess what? Innocent goes in for the blazing duet. He's taking too much. Skies finish the deal on Skylar. They find the pick. YRG continue to peel them off here as well. Implosion comes in. Vin needs to flicker out of there as well, but the Insanity will kill him off, and Crab flicker out of there as well. Furzik left alone outside, and YRG gobbles them out bit by bit.
I can't believe that worked. It worked. It was fine. Like, there were so many things wrong with that, but inevitably, YRG come out as the victors and will be cracking open a mid in him.
Oh no, Dom is going to be chain stunned as well. He's going to be bursted down. He's dead. He's gone. That's going to be Skies, but unstoppable here. Skies with the finisher on this Nolan. They find another inhibitor. All will fall. RRQ Hoshi backs against the wall. First Sig now going to be spawning his way through 4v5. They're making work onto the crystal now. YRG looking to equalize into game number 3 now.
10 seconds.
Another minion comes in. 8 seconds for Don. Skies from the side. He's looking for the one shot as well. He's going to go for the head as well. Blazing Duet comes in. But no, they don't have the damage. They're a little bit too low. They've got the sustain. Skies finds win. Skylar finds you. Skylar is still alive. But the final slash from Don. Just pull one back, and now it's all about the cleanup crew. Skylar still alive. Insanity comes in, but he won't fall. RRQ Hoshi holds on.
Oh, Dawn saves the day. I said 10 seconds, and 10 seconds, Dawn respawns and finds the base defense, but this is still a checkmate angle. Look at this. Look at this. He comes in. First Six is trying to deal with this wave as Stormy goes for an implosion play of his own, but while this is happening, Yum's no resources left, ends up dying before the final slash from Dawn catches the two correct targets, Skies and as well as Stormy, putting them out of the fight.
Oh, the beauty of Natan in these situations here. Like, once the entropy is online, you cannot threaten this fight. But meanwhile, the Lord comes in. Do they get secured? Skylar gets the Lord for RRQ Hoshi. But now the rest of his members get run down. Innocent getting 1, getting 2. That's going to be a double kill for Innocent as Yudu Red Giants will continue with the lead. Lord is going to be able to defend this here. But Skies, he's looking for a cheeky play.
No, Skies still alive, but he doesn't find the trade back. And currently, they need to hold on for at least 13 seconds before they have a push here. But YRG looking to end it.
Insanity comes in as well. Yum's looking for the backline. They want to focus down on Skylar, but it doesn't matter. They take the crystal. Yudu Red Giants equalizes. We're going to see a game 3. We're going to see a game 3 this game.
Woo! Much shorter game.